All right, let's get right to it, man. And what are we getting right to? The things we were getting to is the correlation between being something you're not for others and being what you are for yourself. And I don't want to segregate this video to melanated, contented individuals, but it's what it's mainly for. It's mainly for my melanated kings and queens. Sometimes we don't act like that, you know? And I don't want to hold us to a standard where it cannot be reached because of the content of how we look, right? And we've been going over this for years and years and years, to the point where our minds have been warped to the point where we thinking kissing the asses of others that are melanated, I wouldn't say melanatedly challenged, but the folks that don't quite look like us, that don't want to hear, you know? But that's not every person that looks like them. There are some people who fight for the things that we love and the culture that we cultivate and the things that we have created, you know? And I feel like with that, I don't really want to, you know, it's not because I'm scared of losing people because of these type of conversations. It's just that I feel like I can't touch on this subject yet because I haven't cultivated a big fan base for that, right? And with this, I feel like us as human beings, not just as Afro descent people, should be learning the things that need to be said for a specific reason, not only because how we look. I'm thinking as collectively, no matter what the culture is, if you look like me and you have a different culture than me, you are joined. We should embrace all type of cultures, no matter how weird it is, because our heritage has been stripping of us to the point where we had to create our own. And creating our own has been so big and cultivated that other cultures, and I hate using that word, I hate using culture, other people of different descents love the things that we do, but hate the people who made it. Wouldn't say hate, but despise the people that hate it because it's so normalized to do that, right? And I'm not here to spread awareness or being just strictly pro-black, right? You know, and saying that. But it's a smack in the face when people say, when they say a phrase and then they try to rewrite the phrase for being all-inclusive, but they're doing it for a miscellaneous way. Like how we say Black Lives Matter, and then they say all lives matter. Yes, that is correct, right? That is the most simplistic way in how to keep everybody happy, right? But I feel like the misconnect between almost everybody is the way they say it, or they try to complicate the words of what they mean. Breaking it down may not even help sometimes because it might seem to be condescending in some aspect or another, right? I'm not come on here to damn, damn. I'm not coming on here to just say this and the third, just how every person does, right? To you know, be with the people and be pro-black, right? I feel like us as individuals should not only hold ourselves to a standard that, you know, we shouldn't just call ourselves just black, because, you know, we try to turn terms that are using a negative connotation in a positive way to so-called strip the power of it. But even when you just say, like, nigga, please, like, you know, it just roll off the tongue, you know, it's like that word, it's the connotation of it was derogatory, right? But we used it in a way of greeting, and then people get way too comfortable around us to the point where, well, I grew up around the people that look like them, so I should say it. You know, I haven't been ostracized and oppressed like them, but I should be able to say it because I lived around them for so long, and I felt the oppression they had to some degree, right? That opinion is so valid, right? I disagree with it because I mainly think that it's like a paradox. It's contradicting to say this about people who hear, and then you could be like, oh, he can say it even though he's only this amount of, you know what I'm saying? There's so many technicalities when it comes to the word and how we cultivate things, right? And I feel like it's a bunch of words and I'm beating around the bush. The main point of what I'm trying to say is, no matter what type of black you is, what culture you do, Nigerian, Jamaican, right? They still see you as just black. It don't matter where you from. If you look like this, it don't matter what culture or what you cultivate or how you sound or how you talk. You still just gonna be another black person. It don't matter what type of black you are. No matter what type of African you are, you're still gonna be seen as just plain old black, right? And it's always black this, black that, Africanness. What I'm trying to say is, I feel like some people only speak on this topic to cultivate a fan base of only their people, to, monetize it. I'm not. Listen, I'm gonna keep a whole buck. I'm gonna keep it a buck with you. This will probably be the first and the last time I ever make a video like this, because what I'm striving for is unification of all people, right? And I feel like, how can you do that without only unifying your people? Listen clearly. If my people wanted to be unified, we would have did it a long time ago. But we have so many constructions and things hampering us to be unified, to the point even if we had the access to do it, we wouldn't know, because we never knew what that looked like, right? And then listen, I feel like people only speak about this topic when they see videos or headlines or websites when it comes above, right? And then they stop talking about it because they only seen it, it gains attention. My guy, listen here, listen clear, all right? There's some things that we cannot do that others can. And that doesn't mean you feel you're void with hate and aggression to the other people because you've been treated the same, right? Nigga, don't turn the other cheek every time, all right? Listen, nobody wants to turn the cheek every time getting slapped, right? But the way I see it, what they be saying, coonery, where when you're race trading, right? On every race, doesn't matter, right? The coonery that they so-called see, right, is you agreeing with listen, this is how it is. I'm gonna break it without strip the race and all that. This man right here, right? Well, this being is this being is green, a nice tight tone green. He went to the sandbox, cultivated that sandbox, but he had to use other people to upgrade that sandbox for years on end, but they were never getting paid and they was getting mistreated. And these people are purple, right? Mm-hmm. So over many years, green people and purple people have been in the same sandbox for many of generations and generations. And that has cultivated more people of different colors and orange and yellow and pink to come over here. But even with that sandbox wouldn't be the sandbox it was without the purple people to start that, right? But the green people think because the way their green is nice, a lime green, nice tone and nice chic color, and their purple is almost burgundy and rough and decrepit in their eyes, they think these purple people don't deserve to be in this sandbox that they helped created for me. They don't deserve this. But other green people don't think that. They think we all should deserve a chance to be in the sandbox with all the toys and the monkey bars and the slides that they have created. But then some purple people see the one green man that says they don't deserve to be in the sandbox, and they be like, well, if we don't deserve to be in the sandbox, why should he? If we took part in creating that sandbox and making it what it is, why do we don't get the same treatment he does? And he says, well, because I'm green, I'm lime, I look better, I'm more chic, I'm more smooth, and you're just purple. You see what I'm saying? try to break the most complex things in the most simplest ways to have an understanding. But maybe, maybe because I'm young, I will be get discredited for the things that I see, because, yeah, I've been through that, right? But I don't hold hatred for other green people that haven't done anything to me because that one green person does something to me, right? But then if you get in the nitty gritty, let's take it back, all the way back. Dark green and dark purple, or light green, whatever. Light green use purple for miscellaneous things, breeding purple to make other purple beings, feeding purple scraps, and even feeding purple to animals, breeding purple to make bigger purple beings to create things for green's land, so to speak, right? And I think the misconnect is that it's either the purple people hold complete hatred to green, or they don't hold hatred at all to green. They try to move to the next step. And then it's the same for green. Green understands the problems that were there a long time ago, but don't see it as an issue now because they're in a predicament or position where they don't have to deal with that. They straight a blind eye to it. And then you have some greens that are woke to purple situation. You see what I'm going here? I know it's kind of dumb, but you see what I'm going here? It gets to the point where the misconnect is, it's either you understand the full concept of how other people are treated, or you understand it, you straight a blind eye to it because you're not in that shoe. So it's either you give a fuck to the fullest degree, or you kind of do, and you like, that's not that I really can do. I'm just one person, so why should I care? And that's how it is, right? Everything is overcomplicated to the point where you get sly diss from green people. Green people be like, whoa, I didn't know you can draw. I didn't know purple people couldn't know how to mix colors correctly. And they do it as a backhand compliment, or they do it as a sly thing. And then evidently it gets in the psyche of purple people mind where they do it to others. They do it to other people if that purple is lighter than that one. Is mahogany purple? No, like a violet. And then a dark purple would be like, well, dang, that's crazy. Well, my people were way lighter, you know what I'm saying? We agree with greens, right? And sometimes purple do that. Violet does that to light green to get on their good side, even though they're betraying the people they are actually with. That they're people, you know? And I probably sound like a dumbass caveman trying to say this, but the way I see it is, if we broke things down in a simplistic way, it wouldn't change rapidly, but it would change in a way that is way more hampering than what we actually think. And who am I to say that? But I think the way I see it is, it's stupid, bro. I swear. Not liking somebody because they look different or they talk different is the most dumbest thing in the world. Like, it's idiotic. Like, and I don't even put it in a simplistic view anymore. I just scratch all that shit away, and I was like, dang, imagine if a higher being of a different caliber, different species, not even came to Earth, but just spectated us, and he's like, wait, these motherfuckers are the same creatures, right? But they're different tones, and they created war, famine, and hate because they look different to the eyes. Those beings would be like, what the fuck is wrong with these niggas, bro? I'm like, are these niggas stupid? They have wars over misconnects of ideologies and how they look? That's the most dumbest shit possible. And I feel like we would never evolve to a higher state. Not on some spirituality shit, you wearing shingles and chains, all that. It's just, we would never evolve as a people if the hate dissipates. The hate gotta go somewhere, you know? Hate is good in some areas because, you know, hate evolves things, you know? If you hate something so much, you might want to change it, right? But it gets to a point where, like, damn. Evidently, I'm green, he's purple. We still colors at the end of the day, we're still colors no matter how we look. And then it gets to a point where they start to cultivate together, and purple and green start to mix, and these mixed colors are conflicted of what side they should choose because they're both separated. And then mixed colors become their own way, and then that creates even more complex issues with having self-hatred for yourself because of one side or the other. So I think no matter what you do, you can cultivate a whole family of every color in the world. There will still be a problem because mindsets are completely different. You know, it has nothing to do with how people think. It's more of what they don't think, what they don't see, right? Which is crazy. No matter who you are or what you are, it's hard to say be peace and positivity because that shit does not exist fully. As I always say, equality is a facade, but I would try to make that true. Freedom of speech is only free when the speeches matches their MO. So what I'm saying is you can change it, right? But me saying and not doing doesn't help shit, but it's a small stepping stone for hundreds and millions of videos and topics and activists and things that have been talked for decades. Yes, we're getting leeway, we're getting step by step, but that shit's small. It's either you take what you want by violence and death, or you take the intelligent right by using your words, but you will still get sly comments and be degraded and straight away and this, that, and the third by using your words. But at the end of the day, letting them get under your skin is the worst way to figure it out, I guess, right? What's the thing I was supposed to be saying for this full thing? For me, I know what I am. I know what I look like. I know how people see me. No matter if I wear a suit and tie, classism, all that, right? But I will never submit to anybody because they think they're better than me because of the way they look, you know? Most simplistic way you can say it, right? But sometimes you can't just blame one specific group, even if they're the main majority of the problem. You can't be like, man, the fucking white man. Man, no, it's the fucking black man. Equality is a facade. I'm trying to make that true, but it's hard when everybody has a different ideology, different virtues, and different mindsets for everything. So with that, taking it step by step might seem crazy, but it's the best thing. Having an understanding than an agreement is way better. Cause you can, you can so-called have an agreement, but still not understand the fucking agreement. You know what I'm saying? Have a peace treaty, but still break the rules of the peace treaty because you didn't fucking understand it. So I'd rather you understand me than just agree with me. Cause you can disagree with me and understand me and still hold respect, you know? People always say respect and principles, but that shit goes out the window. Morals go out the window when it's strictly survival, when you're just trying to eat and feed your family. That shit doesn't matter. Classism doesn't matter. What's that one saying that everybody, that nigga bleed the same just as I do? Yeah, he might bleed the same, but he might have O negative, you might have AB. And what that gotta do? That don't mean shit. It just means his shit is more sought after than yours in some instances. So we all shit the same. He might shit with a bidet, you might shit with an old ass motherfucking what that shit called? Them big ass boxes that be at the construction site. Goddamn, not Star Wars. A porta potty, yeah. He might shit in a bidet. You might shit in a porta potty. By the end of the day, y'all still shitting the same. You know what I'm saying? So it's always the classism and the things of it, you know? Can't blame one side if you don't blame the other. But he did this to me, so I had to do that. But he did that, so I did this. It's a walking paradox when it comes to the color of your skin and the context of your character, right? Some activists you would not agree with to the day because the way they think were totally different. You know what I'm saying? It was totally different. you know? So don't just be like, oh, I agree with MLK, I agree with Michael X, I agree. Or Rosa Parks, those are just big ass names. Those are the biggest names you probably can remember, you know? But then you go to degrade, oh shit, damn. Then you go to degrade his character. Well, the only reason he wanted to have a freedom speech because he cheated on his wife with a white woman, or he did this, or he was a radicalist, or he was a old-fashioned churchman. He was a pastor. He didn't believe in this, that, and the third. Yada yada yada. Malcolm X wasn't shit. He had a pole on him. He did this, that, and the third. If you can nitpick everything they have done in their lives and then erase the whole vision of what they're trying to say, you're not on the right side, bro. There's no right or wrong, but there's